Slide 1, title page. Kant's Categorical Imperative in Corporate Greenhouse Gas Emissions. Slide 2, Agenda and Overview. Here's a quick overview of what we'll cover. First, I'll introduce Kant's ethical system and explain the idea of duty in his philosophy. Then we'll break down the three formulations of the categorical imperative, the universal law, humanity as an end, and the kingdom of ends, and apply each one to a real-world example involving ExxonMobil's greenhouse gas emissions. Finally, we'll summarize the moral outcome, reflect on what this means for corporate ethics, and end with some personal insights on truth, duty, and accountability. Slide 3, Kant's ethical system and introduction. Kant's ethical system is called deontology, which means duty-based ethics. In this view, actions are judged by the principles behind them, not by their outcomes. Kant believed that the foundation of morality is the good will, doing the right thing simply because it's right, not for personal reward or fear of punishment. He taught that moral laws apply to all rational beings equally, and that reason, not emotion, helps us recognize what's right. Unlike utilitarianism, which focuses on consequences and happiness, Kant's ethics insists that morality comes from duty itself. This framework builds the foundation for his key principle, the categorical imperative, which we'll explore next. Slide 4, the idea of duty in Kant's ethics. Duty is at the heart of Kant's moral philosophy. Acting from duty means we do something because it's morally right, not because it benefits us. Kant distinguishes between acting in accordance with duty and acting from duty. Only the second one truly has moral worth. Reason allows us to understand duty and apply it consistently. When we act from duty, our choices can be universalized. That is, everyone could follow the same rule and still preserve moral order. Even if the outcome isn't favorable, an action done from duty maintains moral integrity. This idea of duty creates a strong foundation for accountability in both personal life and professional ethics. Slide 5, Kant's categorical imperative explained. The categorical imperative is Kant's central moral principle. It tells us how to test whether an action is truly moral. It commands us unconditionally. It doesn't depend on personal goals or feelings. Kant contrasts it with hypothetical imperatives, which are conditional, like, if you want to be healthy, exercise. The categorical imperative instead asks, what if everyone acted this way? If the action could be universalized without contradiction, it's moral. This principle respects autonomy and reason, showing that morality is about consistency, not convenience. It remains a powerful ethical tool in philosophy, business, and law today. Slide 6, Universal Law Formulation. The first formulation of the categorical imperative says we should act only on principles that we could will to become universal laws. Let's apply this to our case. ExxonMobil and greenhouse gas emissions. If every corporation acted with the same maxim, polluting to maximize profit, our planet would face total ecological collapse. Such a world would be self-contradictory since no rational being could will to destroy the conditions of life itself. From a Kantian view, this fails the universality test. Duty requires environmental accountability and restraint, not profit at the expense of human survival. Slide 7, humanity is an end in itself. The second formulation tells us to treat humanity always as an end, never merely as a means. When corporations prioritize profit over people, they treat human beings as tools for financial gain. ExxonMobil's emissions harm communities, future generations, and the planet, showing disrespect for human dignity. True moral respect means protecting health and life, not exploiting them. This principle reminds us that moral worth comes from respecting others as autonomous, rational individuals. By using people as a means to profit, the corporation fails this ethical test completely. Slide 8, the kingdom of ends. The third formulation envisions an ideal moral community, a kingdom of ends, where every rational being follows universal moral laws. In this community, everyone acts as a moral legislator, treating others as equals and upholding shared duties. A corporation that values money over moral responsibility breaks this unity. ExxonMobil undermines the cooperative order that sustains both humanity and the environment. Ethical corporations would model integrity, accountability, and sustainability, setting standards others could rationally follow. By ignoring its moral role, ExxonMobil fails to act as a responsible member of the moral community. Slide 9, real-world example, ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil is one of the largest oil and gas companies in the world, responsible for a major share of global emissions. Research shows that the company knew about the dangers of climate change decades ago, but continued to prioritize profit. It even funded misinformation campaigns to delay environmental action. This shows a clear pattern of moral negligence, placing economic gain over truth and human welfare. Under Kant's ethics, knowingly causing harm while having the power to prevent it is morally indefensible. This real-world case illustrates how duty and universal law are violated when corporations ignore their ethical responsibilities. Slide 10, Moral Pass-Fail Comparison Table. Now let's review how ExxonMobil performs under Kant's 3 tests of morality. Under the first test, universal law, its behavior cannot be universalized. It would lead to planetary collapse. Under the second, humanity as an end, the company treats people as means to profit, not as valuable individuals. Under the third, the kingdom of ends, it fails to act as a moral leader or rational legislator. Each formulation exposes the same conclusion. The corporation's emissions policy fails Kant's moral criteria. The result is a categorical moral failure across all levels of analysis. Slide 11, Summary and Conclusion of Kantian Evaluation. Kant's ethics shows that morality depends on duty, not outcomes. When we apply his 3 formulations to ExxonMobil's behavior, the results are consistent. It fails every moral test. Its actions can't be universalized. They treat humanity as expendable, and they ignore the shared duty to preserve life. From a Kantian standpoint, knowingly causing harm for profit is categorically immoral. This framework reminds us that moral responsibility in business isn't optional. It's foundational to reason itself. True ethical leadership means acting from duty and principle, not convenience or self-interest. Slide 12, Personal Reflection. Kant's focus on duty, truth, and reason deeply resonates with my approach to research and ethics. For me, morality isn't about reward. It's about integrity and accountability. In fields like data science, cybersecurity, and investigative work, transparency and truth-telling are moral duties. I see technology as a way to serve humanity, not exploit it. Kant's idea that reason defines moral law inspires me to build systems that promote honesty, justice, and accountability. Acting from duty means holding even the most powerful organizations accountable because truth is a universal obligation. Slide 13, References. To conclude, these are the key sources that guided this analysis. They include foundational texts by Immanuel Kant, interpretations by modern philosophers, open access ethics textbooks, and case studies on deontological reasoning. Together, they help connect Kant's 18th century moral theory to today's corporate environmental challenges, reminding us that duty, honesty, and respect for humanity remain timeless moral standards.